Good morning, esteemed viewers from the controlled chaos that is Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. Welcome to the second episode of our special edition, let's call it, on the Dutch East India Company, the terrible and formidable at the same time VOC. Jakarta, then called Batavia, was the capital of the Dutch East Indies, and it was the product of the uncontrollable bloodthirst of Jan Pieterszoon Coen. We have talked about him a little bit in the previous video in Amsterdam. Now, before we investigate this relation between Jakarta and the VOC, I have to find the hotel, man. I mean, this backpack is heavy. So let me show you the room, man, because it's, I have to say, this hotel looks very nice. It's kind of how it should be for one person, right? Editing day and night. So this costs 30 euros for 2 nights. Nothing special, but nothing bad also. Very good, very clean. Absolutely love it. Sometimes it's amazing, the grand scale of things, isn't it? That is the national monument of Indonesia, and it's there to represent unity, resilience, and freedom fighting spirit that they showed initially against the Dutch, secondarily against the Japanese, until they gained independence. Remember, Indonesia is quite young as a country. Right. This is probably not the kind of vehicle you expect to see on the side of a canal, but Jakarta has a massive problem with water. And by water, I mean the water that runs in these canals, and at times it overflows and drowns half of the city. Look at this, man. So I was wondering about this. I saw quite a lot of electric vehicles on my walk from the hotel to here. All right, people, so this is our day in Jakarta. We have a lot to cover. Join me. I have ordered a scooter. Ready? Off we go. All right, people, so welcome to Glodok. This is the Chinatown of Jakarta. And this here is the main temple. Let's see, how do we get in from the other side, probably? The neighborhood of Glodok is, as you can obviously see, a Chinatown. It's a Chinatown created by the VOC to segregate the Chinese population of Batavia, literally from all the rest. Wow. That's something you don't see every day, do you? The decision to create this ghetto, however, did not come from nothing. You see, back in October of 1740, the Dutch slaughtered about 10,000 Chinese workers, essentially. What a market, man. I find it amazing that in such a tight space, all these scooters are moving on, you know? So the 1740 Batavia Massacre is such a cruel moment. Now, there were many cruel moments, but this is right up there of the VOC history, the Dutch history in these here parts of the world. That it's kind of difficult to stomach. You see, the whole thing was the result of the Dutch paranoia that the Chinese population were preparing a revolt or something, you know? All right, let's have a tea or something. All right, people, cheers. So the story is like this. Back in the 17th and 18th century, the global sugar trade collapsed. It didn't collapse, but there was a crisis. The prices of sugar went plummeting down, mainly because of the competition that this lot here had with the Caribbean. In both parts, the sugar production was the result of slave labor, and apparently it was going so hard that sugar was not a luxury product anymore, you know? There was a lot of offer. That led to local unrest among the Chinese population because most of the workers were Chinese, and because of that, the Dutch authorities became paranoid. They were thinking like, okay, this is it. They are going to come at night and cut our throats. And because of this paranoia, they went on and did exactly that. I mean, they slaughtered thousands of Chinese in the old Batavia. They even turned their cannonballs and shot cannonballs at their blocks, even in today's standards. And we are doing atrocities today. I mean, we are bombing schools of kids and hospitals and you name it. Even in today's standards, this is an insane act.
And the reason they even allowed the Chinese to stay in this ghetto in Glodok
was the fact that they needed them. After all that, they realized, okay, we still need them to work the plantations. My friend, can I ask you something for my video? You know the creation of Glodok, right? Are you
aware of the history of it.
How do they teach the story of Glodok at school, for example? How do they say about the Dutch shooting all these Chinese people?
Mostly just like written from the book. Then, and also not all of people like reading the book.
Do you think that if I ask people here, they know the story of this area?
Probably.
Okay, man, thank you.
You're welcome.
The story of the Batavia massacre was such a shock to the world that even in Amsterdam, they reacted badly against it. The VOC board of directors, the Heren 17, demanded the arrest of Governor General of the area, Adrian Valkenier. Even that, however, was the result of a betrayal. You see, Valkenier had a second in command that deeply envied his position. So that guy returned to the Netherlands and was very eager to tell the whole story to the Heren 17. He essentially laid all the blame to Valkenier. He said he's the crazy one, stone him in the middle of the square, which, if we are honest, it was probably true, but still. So the Heren 17, they ordered for the arrest of Valkenier, and his second in command got his place. Valkenier died in prison here in Batavia, actually. Hello, hello! Here in Batavia, actually, while awaiting trial. And it's interesting to think about the reactions of the Heren 17, because when something like this happens, they actually think of the loss of profits. I mean, they think like this. We have murdered 10,000 of our precious and cheap workers, and now how are we going to produce the same quantities of sugar? Check out all these massive canals, man. All of them leading towards the sea. And look at this, what a building. Packed with vegetation. I wonder if these buildings here have also something to do with the colonial era, you know? Let's have a look. So yeah, man, this building was built for a VOC upper merchant because of the vicinity with the river, the Siligung River. Let's see. Look at the thing, man. Try to ignore the music. But apparently it's a cafe now. Look at the stairs, man. Flipping hell. Those upper merchants of the VOC. It's not often that you can drink tea or something in a former VOC upper merchant's house.
These people made the thing a cafe because they couldn't make it a museum, you know?
So our mission to have our tea in a former colonial sort of palace is a complete failure. I mean, look at this. This thing is abysmal, man. Come on now. So in front of me is an old assurancy cantor. It means insurance building. Is it still in use? Could be. There are cats. Gouverneurskantoor. These two cannot really ride the bike. Right, so this is the museum of the history of Jakarta. Let's go and have a look. Used to be the city hall. This here museum describes the first colonizers as explorers, like really, including the Dutch, to obtain spices of high-value trade. Explorers and traders. That was the VOC. Let's agree to not call them murderers and stick to the explorers part. Look at this. How about this for a door frame? Look at my fellow ancient goddess, Athena. How about this for colonial furniture? So check out this guy. This was a former governor of the Dutch here. The funny thing is that he died at a place called I'm very satisfied, you know? This is the name of the place where he died. Look at that. It shows the old shipyard. We went there in the previous video. Look at the butcher of Banda. He's saying, I'm going to kill you and murder everyone here to build my own city. This is the Pedrao. This is a stone that was erected when the first Portuguese arrived in Jayakarta, in Java, and to cement the agreement between the Portuguese, Albuquerque and Co., and the local sultans. That was before the Dutch came here and messed with the whole deal. And this is not the original stone. The original stone is in the National Museum, but you cannot see it there. This is a replica.
And are you already decide what is the name of the bridge? Yeah.
Let's see where this Valkenier guy died in captivity. It's very low. Look at this double row of bars. The dungeons. This was the well of the city hall. There are fish in there. Look at that spectacle of a hotel. So back in the early 1600s, when Jan Pieterszoon Coen had finished with the massacre of Banda, he actually came here and decided to build his capital, the capital of the Dutch East Indies. And in order to do so, he decided to get rid of the local population. Is this the way to do business, man? I mean, come on now. So he burned the local village, which was called Jayakarta. Oh, wow. Let me show you this. Unbelievable, man. Look at this. It was a week ago that we were crossing such a bridge in Enkhuizen. Okay, back to the story. So Coen arrives here with, I think it was about 1,000 soldiers, and he literally erases the place from the face of the earth. Jayakarta was a fishing village back then, 1619 I think it was, and 30 years later, it's still small, but it's a town that acts as the center of command for the Dutch East Indies. Flipping hell, we cannot cross this bridge. What's going on here, man? Never mind. So he bombs the place, he burns the place, he kills everyone, kills the prince, and there you have it, Batavia. What a neighborhood, isn't it? Do you speak English, sir?
Oh, yeah.
A little. Are there problems here when the water rises?
Oh, no.
Here, no, eh?
The canal is over there.
Canal, yeah.
Canal is there, okay. Thank you. Look at us, man, we found the canal. I'm not entirely convinced if this is a flood-free area, but it is what it is. My friend, you speak English? Water problem here or no?
Kalau airnya penuh kebanjiran nggak sini?
This level? Till here, you say? Okay, man, thank you. Thanks a lot. Right, so my purpose in life is to cross the bridge, actually. Flipping hell, it smells exotic. Boy! Whew. The amount of dust and look at this pratsma. So I came up here because I want to go across the street actually. There is this old lighthouse or observation tower from the times of the VOC. I mean, you have to love the small boat and the binoculars, right? So, further down this way is the spot where the butcher of Banda first landed with his ships at the small village of Jayakarta. This is one of these spots that you can clearly see the difference between the level of the water. For example, look at how high the water here is and how low it's over there in the canal.
Come on, come on.
That way?
This way.
Okay.
Be careful.
I'm careful, yes.
Be careful.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, look at this bridge. Very good, man. The other side.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Good, good.
You speak English?
English? No.
Little, eh? Only Bahasa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bahasa Indonesia.
Yes.
This way.
Thank you, my friends. What's your name?
What's your name?
Name?
Is Ibnu.
Adonis.
Adonis.
Nice to meet you. What a lovely kid, man. He guided me to the heart of the thing. Oh, look at this. This is a mosque. There is literally no way that this water is staying there in the rainy season. I think this is the role of this wall, actually, to keep the water. The Indonesians have over-drilled the underground reservoirs and the water canals and everything, instead of using a water reserve somewhere and have an adequate pipe system, right? So they drilled until at some point the earth itself, the ground, started sinking. And yeah, this is what brought them to this precarious situation. I mean, it's so crazy. Look, just look at this. And this is the no rain season. Google is pointing me to one direction, and the reality, the facts on the ground are completely different. How are we going to that flipping canal where that prick landed the first time? There and left and right? You sure? Oh, makasih. Up in here. Fall? So presumably if I go straight down that road, I will bump on the water.
Kemarin ada turis hilang kameranya bilang.
Don't know, it's still primitive there. Just, wow.
Kemarin pernah
A
kasus
tourist lost their camera yesterday.
turis kayak gitu.
We don't want to lose you. Okay. Right, so here's the story, man. After I've been discussing with these people for about 10 minutes, and they were strongly advising against going to that spot. However, they did offer to accompany me to a place where we can see the true scale of the water problem of Jakarta.
We clean. So check this out. It's more than obvious if you look from here that this part of the water is a little bit higher than this ground there. And that is an old mosque. For example, they built this wall to protect this area, but the mosque was on the wrong side of it. Flipping incredible, man. And also incredible, these two people that brought me here, I cannot believe it. We failed miserably to go to the spot where the butcher of Banda arrived with his army in Jayakarta, but we caught the spot that probably shows very clearly what's happening with the water here, you know. Indonesia is moving its administrative capital to the island of Borneo because of this. I'm not sure how good this is for Borneo, but that's another story. As for that incredible couple that took me there, I have no words, man. I mean, it's they were so kind. Also a little bit funny because I asked the woman, because the woman had told me, look, don't go there. They will probably rob you, kill you, whatever, throw you in the water to get eaten by the sharks. But then I asked her, okay, if this will happen to me, if I go alone, then if your husband takes me, won't it be dangerous for him? She said no. But then she thought again, and she came with us. She came with her bike. Very, very nice people. So look at this, 1719. I have no idea what this building was. Probably storage or something. Who knows? So they are extremely busy building this mega project. Apparently it's a sort of dike or dam in the middle of the sea on the outskirts of the Bay of Jakarta. How was that wall that we saw earlier? Imagine that in a much bigger scale. One has to wonder how this whole thing will end up. This is what I'm talking about, man. Look at this national strategy project. And look at all the piping. I mean, the only thing you can say is that hopefully it's not too late, you know? All right, people, so that was all from today's episode. It was eventful. I will be seeing you in the next episode. Hello, sir. In the next episode of this mini VOC series. Bye-bye for now.